Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Monday, and welcome back to Lazy Couch Thoughts. Let's just have a moment of silence for all 15 million brackets that were made this week, as there are none that are still perfect. Thank you. Man, it has been a great start to March Madness. The round of 64 had a ton of upsets, and honestly, so far the round of 32 has as well. You have 15 seed Oral Roberts advancing to the Sweet 16. They became the first 15 seed to ever advance to the Sweet 16. That's the storyline so far. Luckily, my Final Four is still intact. Don't know how. My Elite Eight, not so much. Not so much. Yeah, definitely not. Texas Tech lost. Not great. Oregon's playing a tough game right now with Iowa as I currently record this. So, only time will tell with that. But I am still among the leaders in the Couch Fanatic Sports tournament bracket. Hopefully you joined. Hopefully you're doing well too. Just not better than me. There was so many upsets throughout the entire game. This year feels like there might have been even more upsets than normal because I guess with COVID, everything being different, and especially with no crowds, it's definitely has something to do with it. Whenever there's not as much crowds, there's not as much energy, there's less that the players can kind of feed off of, and then it kind of just gets based on who wants it more. Like, seriously, a lot of these smaller schools, they don't need the huge crowds to rile them up and get them ready because they're already pumped because they're like, hey, we got a chance to go prove ourselves. And then a bigger school might be like, yeah, it's Oral Roberts, it's not really a big deal. We're good. It's North Texas. Yeah, we're good. We don't have to worry about that. But this is the most 11 through 15 seeds to make it past the round of 64 since 2007. So, over a decade. In the last decade, there hasn't been as many upsets as there has been thus far. You have Oregon State, a 12 seed, who's in the Sweet 16 now, beating the presumptuous, the number one overall pick in Kate Cunningham late last night. You have people like North Texas going out there and winning. You have people like Abilene Christian going out there as a 14 seed and beating, the Texas Longhorns. And you got people doing horns down, as they beat them, because, that's what March is. That's what March does. It's very exciting. It's been a great start to the tournament so far. Now that all the brackets are over, I'm cheering for chaos. I'm cheering for the lowest seeds to win. And honestly, I'm cheering for my Tigers because LSU's playing Michigan later tonight. And without Livers, I think LSU can have a chance. I think LSU can go out there and compete and, try and make it to Sweet 16. And then from there, you probably play Florida State. Anything can really happen. But still, my Final Four is still unchanged. Gonzaga, Florida State, Baylor, Houston. Houston barely squeezed it out. Barely squeezed it out last night. Would come back against Rutgers. But the actual story of the tournament, that's not, I guess it should be Oral Roberts, beating a 2 seed Ohio State and then coming back and beating a 7 seed Florida the next night, is Loyola Chicago and Sister Jean. Because Sister Jean is back at it again with all of the prayers and all of the miracles. Because Loyola Chicago, I don't know what it is about this team. I don't understand how they're so good as a mid-major. And I do know one thing, their coach is going to get picked up by somebody. That dude's going to have some serious offers to go coach a major, Power 5 school within the next, year or so. If you're a Power 5 school and you're looking for a coach, you might want to take a look at this guy. Because any mid-majors that's making Elite 8 runs and then coming back and beating, the number 1 seed, beating Georgia Tech, they beat Illinois, who was the number 1 seed this year. They are out there just competing. And, they're out there and they had the game against Illinois the entire time. The entire game against Illinois, they were in control. They played great defense the whole time. They forced a ton of turnovers. And it was just honestly fun to watch. Speaking of turnovers, the Abilene Christian game, they forced Texas to turn over the ball 23 times. 23 times. Then you look at Syracuse, everybody's like, Syracuse, they're not that great. Then all of a sudden you realize, they have a great zone defense. A lot of these college kids don't really know how to play against the zone defense. A lot of these college kids probably haven't even seen a good zone defense yet. So then it allows them as an 11 seed to advance to the Sweet 16, going out there and playing with good teams. And you have people like West Virginia losing, and you have people like Ohio State and Illinois and all these top teams losing, and Michigan later tonight. But you have a lot of really good teams losing, and it's just the way it's going this year. I saw one thing, people are starting to say, anything can happen in sports. This is just proof to it. College football needs to adapt this kind of format. Yes and no. Part of that is basketball, there's a lot less scholarships. Because of that, it helps the talent level on all levels be a little bit more even. So if football did do that, it could potentially make the competition better to where we're not watching the same 4 teams every year. But it's pretty awesome to see, man. It's also one of those things to show that, like, just because you may not be recruited by a Power 5, just because you may not go to a Power 5, doesn't mean that you can't ball. Doesn't mean that at all. Because every single year you have 1 or 2 teams who are like mid-majors or, you know, lower majors, and it's like, oh, okay, like, yeah, these are still Division I basketball players. That's true. Like, you got to remember that they're still Division I basketball players, and the level of difference between these talent-wise, it's not as much as we want to make it out to be. But whenever you take into effect the amount of effort and the amount of want to and willpower that these guys have, that's whenever you get upsets. That's when you get stories like Oral Roberts going out there as a 15 seed and advancing to the Sweet 16. That's like whenever you have Virginia losing as the number 1 overall seed 3 years ago, 2 tournaments ago. That's what happens when you have Virginia losing as a 3 seed. Like, these things just happen whenever, really good teams who come out flat and aren't really prepared, and they're trying to, go off the crowd's energy, and they don't take the game too serious, and then they play a team that really wants to be there, a team that's very talented, and they lose. And we're gonna all pretend every single year, like, oh my gosh, can you believe that happened? Like, yeah, I can. Anyways, I hope we keep getting a crazy March. I'm telling you now, there's gonna be a lot more crazy stuff to happen. I'm hoping Oregon can pull it out, and I think there's gonna be quite a few more surprises. It also kind of looks like Sister Jean's about to have the boys riled up to make a push for the Final Four. But anyways, that's going to do it for today. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Keep watching basketball till your eyes bleed out, and see you guys Wednesday. Peace.